Hello, my friends. Welcome back to StoryPath English. Today, I want to tell you about a war that has lasted for 1,500 years. It is a war without blood. There are no guns, no bombs, and no real soldiers. It takes place on a small wooden board with only 64 black and white squares. We call it chess. Today, chess is everywhere. You can play it on your phone, in a park, or watch grandmasters compete for millions of dollars on the internet. But for centuries, chess was more than a game. It was a secret language of kings. It was a tool for generals to practice for battle. It was a mystery that traveled across oceans and deserts to reach every corner of the globe. How did a simple game from ancient India conquer the minds of the entire world? Stay with me. And if you enjoy discovering the stories behind the things we love while you learn English, please subscribe to StoryPath English. Our story begins in the 6th century, in the golden age of ancient India. Life was beautiful, but dangerous. The Rajas, the kings of India, were always preparing for war. They needed a way to train their minds without losing their men. Legend says a wise man brought a gift to the Raja. He called it Chaturanga. It was a game played with 4 divisions of the army: the infantry, the foot soldiers, the cavalry, the horses, the elephants, and the chariots. The Raja was amazed. He saw that on this board, a small soldier could trap a powerful king. He saw that success was not about luck, but about strategy. The Raja asked the wise man what he wanted as a reward. The man made a strange request. Place 1 grain of rice on the first square of the board, then double it on the second square. Double it again on the third, and so on, until the 64th square. The Raja laughed. That is a small request. But his mathematicians soon turned pale. By the time they reached the middle of the board, there wasn't enough rice in all of India to pay the man. The Raja realized the power of the 64 squares. Chess was a game of infinite possibilities. From India, the game traveled along the Silk Road to Persia. The Persians loved the game and called it Chatrang. They added a new rule. When the king was in danger, you had to shout, Shah, king. When the king could not move, you shouted, Shahmat, the king is dead. Every time you say checkmate today, you are speaking ancient Persian. But then the world changed. In the 7th century, the Islamic Empire conquered Persia. They took the game and called it Shatranj. Because their religion forbade making statues of people, they changed the pieces into simple, abstract shapes. This made the game easy to carry. Arab traders took chess to Africa, to Spain, and eventually to the cold heart of Europe. In Europe, the game faced its greatest challenge. The Europeans didn't understand the Persian court. They didn't have viziers or chariots. So, they changed the game to look like their own world. The vizier became the queen. The elephant became the bishop, a leader of the church. The chariot became the rook, a stone tower of a castle. And the foot soldiers became the pawns, the common people. For a long time, the queen was a weak piece. She could only move 1 square at a time. But in the late 1400s, everything changed. Some say it was because of the power of Queen Isabella of Spain. Suddenly, the queen became the most powerful piece on the board. She could fly across the squares like a lightning bolt. This made the game faster, more aggressive, and more exciting. This is the version of chess we play today. By the 1800s, chess was the game of kings. Napoleon Bonaparte played it. Benjamin Franklin played it. People began to meet in coffee houses in London and Paris to play for hours. They created the first international tournaments. Chess was no longer just a hobby. It was a profession. But in the 20th century, chess became part of a different kind of war, the Cold War. The Soviet Union believed that chess proved their people were smarter. They spent millions of dollars training chess machines, human players, who studied 10 hours a day. For decades, they were unbeatable. But in 1972, a young American named Bobby Fischer challenged the Soviet champion, Boris Spassky. The whole world watched. It wasn't just a game. It was a battle between two superpowers. Fischer won, and for a brief moment, chess was the most popular sport on Earth. It showed that one man, with a brilliant mind, could defeat an entire empire. Then came the final frontier, man versus machine. In 1997, the world champion Garry Kasparov sat across from a computer named Deep Blue. Kasparov was the greatest human player in history. Deep Blue was a supercomputer built by IBM. It could calculate 200 million moves every second. Kasparov lost. He was angry. He was sad. He felt that the human spirit had been defeated. But he was wrong. Deep Blue didn't kill chess. It made it grow. Today, we use computers to learn. We use them to find beauty in moves that humans never thought were possible. The story of chess is the story of human civilization. It moved from the palaces of India to the deserts of Arabia to the castles of Europe and into the silicon chips of our computers. It has survived wars, revolutions, and the end of empires. Why? Because chess is a perfect mirror of life. It teaches us that every move has a consequence. It teaches us that even the smallest person can change the world. It teaches us that when we lose, we must learn, and when we win, we must stay humble. From a dusty board in a small Indian village to the digital screens of the 21st century, chess has walked a long road. It is a road of 64 squares. It is a road of pure thought. And as long as humans have a mind to think and a heart to dream, the pieces will keep moving. Thank you for listening to this story on StoryPath English. I hope it helps you think about your next move in your English learning journey. Tell me in the comments, do you know how to play chess? And what is the most difficult game you have ever played? I love hearing your stories. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to StoryPath English. Your support helps me keep making these stories for you. See you in the next story, my friends. Checkmate.